Here's a weird thing. Human beings like to be liked, and that kind of makes sense. It's kind of okay, but sometimes when we indulge too much, man, we get in trouble. Adolescents want to maintain or build their social status, and that leads to scary decisions. We all know this. Guess what? It's not just adolescents. Oh no, I watch adults of every variety you can imagine also want to maintain or build their social status, and so they often make suspect decisions. You want to make great decisions long term that make you the best version of a leader that you can possibly be. You got to remember that popularity is fickle and fleeting. It's almost an illusion, and being liked comes and goes on a daily basis. That is not the goal of leadership in any way, shape, or form. The coin of the realm is earned respect, which comes through solid character and great performance. Now, if you've never experienced this, most of you have. Good people, just like you, can turn on you for 2 hours, maybe 2 days. If they don't like a particular decision that you've made, that happens, and so what? You got to deal with it. I learned years ago in a very colorful way how people will turn on you in the drop of a dime if they don't like a particular decision that you've made. I was working for a little firm called Ernst & Young, and me and my boss, just the two of us, were getting on an airplane every week going from Atlanta to Dallas to try and woo a big client, and the same routine happened every week, and it bugged me. I get on this big jumbo jet, there's my boss right in front of me, and he would stop right there at his cushy, well-appointed first-class seat. Let me ask you kindly, how many people in this room so far in your lives have not had the opportunity to sit in first class? Keep them up high. Let me tell you people something. Ready? It's a different world in first class. I'm 6'4", man. I could use some leg room. First class has bigger seats, cushy upholstery, dedicated restroom, dedicated staff, okay menu, decent scotch. It's a different world in first class. My boss was at a career stage where that was his home. I was not. He thought that was funny, because I had to walk past him through that. You know, airlines are funny. They want you to know, as they build that arrogant wall, that you are leaving the promised land and walking into the cheap seats, the unwashed masses. I didn't like that, but I had to do it because that was my lot in life at the time. So I would pass him, and he'd make the same joke every week, and it just made me mad. Some version of how I was about to walk through what he referred to as the poor portal, P-O-O-R. He thought that was funny. I did not. But the week in question, it didn't bother me, because this week I had a seat in the bulkhead row. Now, many of you know that's the front seat of the cheap seats. It's not first class, but it's as close as I ever thought back then that I would get to first class, and there's leg room for days in the bulkhead row. Happy guy, I make your jokes, I don't care. I walk through the arrogant partition. I got 3 seats right there. One by the window is mine. I sit down, I pull out a book. It's going to be a great flight. Now, I'm sitting there reading my book, got my window seat, happy guy. I see out of my peripheral vision the next cat walking through the poor portal. I look over, I see the gun, the badge, the insignia. That's a U.S. Marshal. He's not alone. He's doing this as he pulls the next guy through the poor portal. That gentleman's wearing an orange jumpsuit and shackles. Where do you think they sat? I'm touching elbows with a stranger, and I got to tell you, to this day, I don't know why the marshal did not choose to sit between me and the guy in the orange jumpsuit. I'm very curious. I'm trying to mind my own business, but I'm curious. I got to look, and so I look. I swear to God, he's looking at my book. What do you do with that? What's the protocol? Do you ask him before you turn the page? I had no idea. But I'm very, very curious, so I went ahead and I risked a full-on look to the hundreds of people in this massive jumbo jet. I got up a little bit, and I looked back. You know what I saw? I saw something that amazed me. I saw the strongest outpouring of positive, nonverbal support for me that I had ever seen in my entire life. I didn't know a soul, and they weren't saying anything, but you know how some people, without saying anything, can speak volumes with a look? Hundreds of eyeballs looking right at me like, hang in there, man. You can do this. And I started to believe they were right. Everything was going to work out just fine. I found out later what happened. My boss is in first class. He saw this weird thing the government had foisted upon us at the last second. He also saw that there was one unsold seat right there in first class. And because the rules back in the day were far more loosey-goosey, they just had the right conversations, which resulted in the lead flight attendant walking through the poor portal, bending over the marshal and the felon and saying to me, "Sir, I apologize for the delay, but your spot in first class is ready." Yes! I grabbed my stuff. And I did that weird thing where you try not to touch someone on a plane, you know? And I'm standing there, I'm right in front of the poor portal. I'm about to walk into the land of cushy seats and decent scotch, but I stopped myself because before I did that, I thought it proper to say goodbye to my friends. So I turned around one more time. What do you think I saw this time? Took about 30 seconds for their view of me to turn completely on its head. The positivity was gone. They looked at me with laser-like eyes of disgust and betrayal. How dare you leave us back here with that man? Popularity is a joke. It's fleeting, it's fickle, it comes and goes. So what? The real goal, if you want to be a better version of yourself, is to make the right call for yourself, for your team, for your organization. Execute with integrity and earn long-term the one thing always better, which is real respect.